Hi, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Fridays Power Up Tips. I'm Dr. Dranitsaris, and today I'm going to be providing you with some tips on moving from the codependent stage of development. I'm going to start by building awareness or helping you build awareness about how we get stuck. And most people are not aware that there are actually four stages of psychological development that we go through in relationships, and in particular, in our relationship development. We grow in relationship to others, and how we form and bond and behave in relationships is really foundational to how happy we are in life and sometimes how successful we are in life. And if we think about Carl Jung's model of individuation, we are on a journey toward becoming whole so that our behavior and the way we feel in most situations is constant. Our self-esteem is constant. Our confidence is a constant. These are indicators of the healthy self. Our healthy entitlement is constant. We don't expect too much. We don't expect too little in relationships. But the problem is that if we get stuck in a stage of psychological development, we do not achieve our potential. Flat out, we don't achieve our relationship potential because we get stuck trying to figure out how to survive in relationships instead of thriving. So just quickly go through the four stages of psychological development. And in every one of these stages, there's a goal. And things happen in the emergence of the authentic self during this process. We can go through our childhood, we can age as human beings, but that doesn't mean we develop psychologically because so many of us get stuck in the codependent stage of development. So, of course, infancy, we show up and we're fused. An infant has absolutely no consciousness of being separate from their primary caretaker mother. They have a need, it gets filled. And so it's a fused unit in terms of how it operates. But as we make that transition to that next stage of dependence, we recognize that there is another person, there is other, that if we cry, we may have to wait. We're not automatically going to get our needs met. However, we are still in this stage two, in a stage of dependence because human beings cannot survive without caretakers to a certain age. So, independence, we're learning how to adapt. And something happens during stage one and two where the infant's needs aren't met. And somehow, instead of a secure attachment to our primary caretaker, we end up being afraid of our caretakers. We don't feel secure in that relationship. And so we enter into either an avoidant attachment or an anxious attachment, not being ever able to feel really secure and safe coming into a relationship as ourselves because we fear being rejected, hurt, or abandoned if we do. So then we hit the teens and we move psychologically into stage three, whether we're ready or not. And it's during this stage, and the goal of this stage is to develop independence from our primary caretakers. And so we form our own peer group. We're trying to figure out who are we? What's our identity separate from our parents? And we still need our parents. And so we're not fully independent. We're not out there making a living on our own. Our brain isn't even fully developed at this point in time. And during this stage of codependence, if we haven't successfully gone through stages one and two, what happens is we continue with the survival behaviors that we use to get us through our formative years. And so our adaptive self, our persona, gets more energy put into it than the development of our authentic self, recognizing or thinking about what is it I actually need? What do I love to do? What makes what is pleasurable or interesting to me? How many people in this stage, when it comes to picking schools or going to higher education, go where their friends are going because they don't know what they like. They have no awareness of themselves because they have so busily been trying to survive and adapt that they've lost that connection to their authentic self and what they love to do. And so we can live our entire life acting from this codependent stage, looking for someone to be the other half of our whole. We're not independent. We need someone to complete us, or we only feel we can be okay when we're by ourselves. And certainly, what is consistent with this stage is feeling like an imposter because hey, your persona is in fact an imposter, but your authentic self isn't strong enough to come out. And the other thing is trying to fit in and paying too much attention to fitting in. And then if we get into a relationship with a partner, we expect them to fit into our norm, and we busily start working at getting the person to fit our idea. And we go into these roles of creating relationships that we think will meet our needs. And how many divorces are a direct result of getting married or living with someone and then getting married, being in a relationship with someone who you're trying to fix or someone who's trying to fix you one way or another. These are the hallmarks of the codependent relationship where one person is dominant and the other person is submissive, just as, a parent and a child. And the submissive projects authority onto the dominant, and the dominant expects the submissive to give their power over to them. That's the way the relationship works. So to get to stage 4, interdependence, it requires that we do the work because our development got left behind. And it's now our responsibility, and spend years in therapy complaining about the things that you didn't get in your childhood, or you can make a decision to start your development and get on the path to achieving your potential, even though it makes you so uncomfortable to do relationships from your authentic self. So much easier when we're doing them from our persona, pretending things don't matter, pretending we don't care, pretending that we have no needs when we actually do. So the first step in the process of achieving interdependence in a relationship is building self-awareness. And there are many, many ways of building self-awareness: keeping a journal, doing reflective activities, thinking about when you say yes to other people when you really needed to say no, feeling that feeling when you give in or when you get angry and try and overpower, just becoming more and more aware of your own codependent behaviors. And we have so many podcasts on our channel, Dranitsaris-Hilliard, on all of the codependent strategies. There are 8 main codependent strategies that people use. Lots of information there about what your codependent strategy is, and some more tips over and above building self-awareness as that first step to get you on the path to your potential. So until next time, hope you're enjoying all of my work on codependence coming from this different idea about codependence, it's a developmental delay, not a mental illness, not something that you've learned, not because you're from a dysfunctional family. It's simply because you got stuck in your development and now you need to pick up where you left off. So until next time, we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.